everybody, welcome. Great to be here. Thank you for your time in being so. It's good to be back. It's good to be on LinkedIn Live, but I'm also on Facebook Live and I'm on YouTube Live, and this is streaming across iTunes and Amazon Music and about 30 other sites, and that just amazes me, that we can do this, that I can get a message out for virtually nothing other than a little bit of my time to I believe, normally anyway, we're getting somewhere between 7,000 and 8,000 people tuning in at some point. Not all live, but, they will listen to this over the next few days and weeks and maybe months, who knows. But anyway, it's great to be here. Thank you for your time. I do appreciate it. And I will do my best to make sure that you get the best return on your investment in that time. So just a quick advert, if I may. I don't normally do this, but I've got coming up, starting next week actually, a what I call the Results Mastery 5-day challenge. It's actually a 5-week challenge because it's once a week. It's a couple of hours a day, starting on Tuesday. And I'm just looking for people who want to grow their business next year, really. And the idea being that you come along, you try it for, a period of time, 2 hours a day for 5 weeks. And if at the end of that you want to join my Results Mastery program, I'll refund the money that I charged. And if you don't, then it's cost you just a really small amount of money for the value that you're getting. But anyway, if you want to find out about that, go to steve-mills.com and all the details are there. Having said that, okay, today we're looking at the 5 most critical skills you need to develop in order to grow your business. And this is really important stuff, guys, because, if you are wanting to grow your business, then I suppose right now the big question is, how are you going to make 2024 more successful than 2023? Because the one thing I can tell you is that if you keep doing the same stuff, if you're going to networking events and posting once a week on LinkedIn and, doing the occasional email and so on and so forth, then, what you're doing might not be as good as it could be. And B, what you're doing is certainly not enough compared to what you should be doing. So just doing more could help you improve. That could be a critical skill that you develop, which links in fairly cleverly here with my first comment, the first skill that you need to develop. And that first skill is what I call time or task management. Because I don't believe in time management. I've got the same time as Bill Gates and Richard Branson. So why aren't I as successful as they are? It's a really good question to ask yourself, by the way. Why aren't you as successful as you would like to be is a fantastic question to get that grey matter in here, thinking about what you need to do differently. Because, as I've said, if you keep doing the same stuff, then in normal times, I think you keep getting the same results. But we are in truly extraordinary, unbelievable times, and if you think about that, there's bad things that are happening right now, the wars and here in the UK, the weather and so on and so forth, the climate and, the government and, so on and so forth. There are some bad things happening. I'm not one of these, positive thinking guys, because, there's some tough things out there. But on the flip side of that, there's some amazing stuff. I've been doing this now 28 and a half years. This being helping, advising, coaching, mentoring, and helping small businesses to raise their game and improve the results that they produce. Been doing it 28 years. And over that time, you learn that some stuff works and some stuff doesn't. And I've probably made more mistakes than everybody else who's listening today, because I've done more of it it being marketing. So, I'm not here as someone who's, perfect in any way, shape or form. But I am here as someone who's really motivated to try to help you. And that's why I do these every single day. Just about, anyway, Monday to Friday, miss the occasional one because of other commitments, but other than that, I'm there for you, 12:30 every day, live, streaming, and so on and so forth. So if time management's tough, then task management must become really important, and utilizing this, fantastic software and systems and project management and, things like that become really incredibly important. And, we all need to become better at managing our time. And that's the first thing you do. Now, I want to be clear, I'm not a time management guru or an expert or something like that. But if you went to, I think it was Monday's LinkedIn Live that I did, go and see if you can find that. I actually did a session on time management. So, if you've got time, go and have a look at that, because it's definitely well worth looking at. The second one is sales skills. Nothing probably in life will take you as far as developing your sales skills, even if you're not a salesman or a saleswoman. You don't have to be the salesperson, but you have to be good at selling somebody on the idea of coming to work for you, selling a customer on the idea that you're trying to help them and not just take money from them, and selling your son or your daughter on the idea of cleaning their room or tidying their room at least. It's all about sales, and in business, obviously, if you could sell more, you're going to make more. It's as simple as that. If your sales skills and your, what you've done in 2023 is like a 6 out of 10, I've been okay, and it improved to an 8 out of 10 or a 9 out of 10, potentially, there's at least a 50% increase in sales just by improving your sales skills. So I've written down here, think about things like your system, your process, the training that you're doing. How much sales training are you doing? The answer for most people is none. And you're entrusting your business with someone who's not bothered to get any training, i.e. you. The next one is presenting. You've got to be good at presenting, whether that be on a video like this or, in person on a one-to-one or one-to-many where you've stood up and you're talking at a networking event. You've got to be good at answering objections. There are only so many. When somebody says to you, I want to think about it, I need to speak to the boss, I don't have the budget, the timing's not right, we're too busy right now, we're this, and there's probably like 3 or 4 more. Know the answers to those objections. What do you say when somebody says, I don't have the budget, or I want to think about it, I'm going to speak to 2 other companies? That's another one that's often used. Okay, and then the last one, and arguably the most important one, is rapport. You got to have rapport. You got to build rapport. People people buy from people that they know, like, and trust. If I can get you through this video to warm to me, that's part of what I'm trying to do, to be honest. Get people to think, this guy Steve Mills, he's a bit sort of out there, but he seems a good guy, and he's credible. He seems to know what he's talking about. And, he's not a mad axeman, and he doesn't sound like he's a faker because he's been doing it for 28 years. So, if he wasn't any good, he wouldn't have stuck around that long, would he? So things like that are really, really important. Next one, you'll be surprised and shocked for me to hear that it's marketing. You've got to develop marketing skills. Because if you're like 99% of the businesses or business owners that I speak to, they're not that good at it. That's the truth. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, and I don't wish to decry your skills and knowledge in that. I don't know what they are. I don't know what they are for you. All I can tell you is if you're like most people, it's not good enough. Your standard level ain't good enough. People say to me all the time, if I said to you, how good are you at SEO, search engine optimization? On a scale of 1 being awful, 5 being average, and 10 being world class, where are you? You're probably at best average, if you're like most of the business owners I speak to. So what about LinkedIn? Where would you rate yourself there? Facebook advertising, Google AdWords, all these key marketing things, being on a video like this. So, I hate being on video. YouTube, I don't really know how that works. How do you market yourself on LinkedIn? I don't really know. I post once a week. That's a strategy that doesn't work, generally speaking. So we've got to become good at this. Planning your marketing. Is that important on a scale of 1 to 10? It's probably about a 12. So we need to do this. This is really important, guys. Next one, finance. This is number 4, by the way. Finance. It's such, again, most business owners, their knowledge of finance is this. They have a bookkeeper, or they do their bookkeeping themselves and waste a load of time, by the way, doing that when they could be growing their business. But they have a bookkeeper typically, and they have an accountant who tells them how well they did last year. Basically, they do the end of year accounts, and their knowledge of the financial side of their business, on a scale of 1 being terrible, 10 being world class, I would estimate is probably around the 2 or 3 level for most of the business owners that I speak to. And I'm going to put my hand up here and say that my knowledge was probably at best 3. I've just invested time and money into some training by a guy called Brian, who, if you want to find out about him, give me a shout and I'll point you in the right direction. But he does financial knowledge training. He trains people in how to understand the financial side of their business. And do you know what? It was 8 weeks, 2 hours a week, and it was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. We learned to understand cash flow forecasting, how to read a balance sheet, forecasting, budgeting, and so on and so forth. So these are all skills that we need to know. If you're not any good, or you don't have a cash flow forecast, how do you know what you're going to be making in 6 months' time, or even next month, or even next week? We need to know this information, and because we use this to make intelligent decisions, and without it, we make unintelligent decisions, or sometimes called stupid decisions. And I've made a few of those in my time, I will tell you. So, finance is really important. Lastly, number 5, people skills. You got to develop people skills. I don't like working with people. If it weren't for customers, it would be a really good job, mine. No, we all feel like that occasionally, I must admit. But seriously, we've got to be good at dealing with people. Being in business, unless you're like, I don't know, selling on Amazon or something like that, where, somebody buys on Amazon and you parcel something off to somebody. But if you're a coach, an advisor, a consultant, somebody in the service industry, professional services, whatever it is like that you do, you serve, then you've got to be good at dealing with people. Your customer care skills, really important. Your recruitment policy and how you do that, how you recruit people, your management of your team, how you bring new clients on, how you deal with people at the end of the time that they're working with you, your project management to make sure stuff's on time and delivered when you say it will be. Again, is on a scale of 1 to 10, it's probably about a 15, in terms of how important it is. So again, Brian, I was talking to this morning, he said that years ago he had a competitor that he got on really well with, and he said he was doing reasonably well in business, but his competitor was doing fantastically well. And he said, so I said to him, why is it that you're doing so well? He said, well, we have this thing that we constantly strive to totally amaze our clients, to do an unbelievably fantastic job. That's the reason that why we're so successful. So, think about that in terms of, there's only you. Even if you're a one-man business, there are people that you need to be good at working with, and it could be that you outsource stuff to various people, but we all need people, and we all need to make sure that the people we've got are the right people, they're trained people, and they are have the right attitude, I suppose. There's a brilliant book, actually. It's just in the back. Oh, sorry, it's that way. See, that's it there. I just noticed it, strangely enough. It's that book there. It's by a guy called Jim Collins, and it's called Good to Great. Go and buy that book. It's a bit of a thick read. It's about an inch thick. But in it, one of the things he talks about is getting the right people on the bus, and then making sure they're in the right seat and that they're fully trained in what they do. So really important facts there. So I hope that was of value to you. I'd like to think it was. Like all these things, when you come on a seminar or something like that, it's not that you're getting value from the seminar, it's that you're getting value after the seminar. In other words, it's what you do with what you know that makes a difference to your business. If you go, oh, well, that was really interesting, and, carry on eating your sandwich or whatever it is you're doing right now. If you do that, hopefully, it'll might have an effect at some point in the future. But what I'd suggest you do, what I'd say is important, is, and hopefully you've done this already, you've made some notes, and you're going to put it into place. You're going to perhaps set up a project management piece of software to help you to manage this stuff, and you're going to take action to improve your business. That's ultimately what I want. That was my mission 28 years ago, to help as many businesses as I could to grow and become more successful. And I set that goal up. Do you know why? Because I heard that 80% of businesses that are set up this year have gone bust within 5 years. And that's a terrible statistic. And, I wonder right now what the ratio is. I suspect it's probably even worse. But, I do know it's still significant. So I'm committed to helping that be reduced. I can't do everything, but if I can help thousands of businesses like I have done now, in the past and in the future, that's brilliant. And I'd like to start by offering you a free meeting. Let's just have a chat. Talk about your business, talk about your marketing and sales, even talk about your finance if you want, although I'm not an expert in that, as I just said. But, I'm very happy to try to help you to grow your business. That's my mission. That's what I do. If you want to do that, go to my website, steve-mills.com. Go and find one of the gold buttons. Click on that. That will give you access to my online diary via a website called Calendly. You can then just click on the date and the time that you'd like to meet, set up a meeting, and we can meet on Zoom. I'm based over on the Isle of Wight. Anybody wants a trip to the Isle of Wight, you'd be very welcome to come and see me. But for most people, they'll probably do it on Zoom. So either way is absolutely fine. Thank you ever so much for listening. I look forward to speaking to you again on the next session, and please make sure you follow me, connect to me on LinkedIn, follow me on YouTube, subscribe to my emails because I deliver lots of great content, and don't forget to subscribe to the podcast if you've not done that. So thanks very much for listening, and speak again soon.